Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like this video, and leave any comments or questions that you might have down below. And let's get into it. I believe I'm in Newcrest and I'm on a 30 by 30 lot. And yeah, I'm going to try to do a step-by-step tutorial on how I build houses, or just how I'm going to build this house that I found off of Pinterest. I'll show you on a picture later, but I'm going to go over some of the tools. That's the wall tool. If you just want to create a single wall, I really am going over some of the basics because some people never touch like build mode. And then there's a room tool if you just want to create a simple room, like a simple square room. You can go ahead and do that and change the size and everything like that. And then there's also a custom room tool. I don't really use that one that often, to be honest. There's also like a platform tool if you just want to make a platform. And then there's like a basement tool, which I don't really put basements inside my houses, but you can use this to like redecorate an item without affecting its functionality. And I'll kind of go over that a little bit later, but that's what I mainly use the basement tool for. But it's just also used to like create a lower level, in your on the lot or whatever. And then here's like a triangle room. A lot of these are like self-explanatory, just telling you what type of room or object or space it's going to create. So if you just need to create that real quickly, those would be the tools to use. And then of course, like the round rooms, you can't like customize a round room, so you are going to have to use those round rooms right there, those tools or whatever, to create any round room that you want, because you can't really like draw one with the wall tool. So yeah, here is the house that I'm going to start recreating in the game. So I'm gonna take the room tool to try to, get the layout of it. Like, of course, I'm gonna like probably readjust it throughout this build, but that's just a part of building. Like, I'm not a accurate builder. Like, I don't do a whole bunch of measurements and to like put in the sims like some people. I forgot what it's called, but you create like a ratio or whatever, and then you add that in the sims to like mimic whatever a plan or blueprint you're copying from. I don't do that. I know Stay at Home Bean does that, but I don't do that. I just kind of build. But yeah, here's a way to create like a curved path. I learned this from Kate Emerald, but basically you can see I'm going over how you change the wall height, platform height, rotating everything like that, but you're using like the round deck tool, the smallest one, and you're just copy and pasting it, and just look how I'll like rotate them later. It's like you're basically creating sort of an outline with this tool. But yeah, just hover over certain keys to, like it'll tell you what it's going to do. But and then this area is how you'll really get around exterior building items. Everything's labeled like I said, but yeah, I have the replace fences. This will automatically place the fence where it's supposed to be. And this is kind of like the room tool where you'll just create a square room enclosure. And then this is like you could freely like draw a fence area, but I'm obviously going to use the just place the fence because that's going to be obviously the easier one. And two, we're doing like round shapes, and like I said, you have to use that in order to place walls or fences on round areas in The Sims 4. But yeah, you can see I'm using the rotate to rotate these, and see it's going to create a outline, and then I'm going to like place the fences and everything like that. You can choose any fence that you want. I know I end up like kind of changing the fence to like one that's even like flatter, but like I said, choose whatever fence you want. Like choose whatever like decoration or wall print you want. This is just kind of like going over like the hotkeys and tools and everything like that. Like, cause I'm not gonna use like base game or whatever. But if you are, if you don't really have that many packs, you really need to learn how to build, because a lot of builders, specifically people who just only build, they don't really do gameplay, they're going to use a lot of packs that you probably don't have. So building is, especially if you just like to play The Sims, even if it's base game, it's just nice to know these things that you can, like, if you do decide to download somebody's build, you can easily like alter it or like replace things that you just don't have. But yeah, I'm just like, I end up like deleting the fences because to be honest, you can create this with terrain tool, which I'm going to go over a little bit. But yeah, you could change it to like a circle or a square, and you can like erase the terrain. Like I'm in terrain paint, which is like the paintbrush. And like I said, all these buttons or whatever, they're like labeled so you'll know, but you could change like, the size of it and everything like that so you don't affect uh, the whole area. And then you could press the G keyboard, the G key letter on the keyboard to turn the grid on. It's easier to see things, especially like when you're manipulating the terrain and everything like that. And like you can add water, but that's like a whole other thing. This isn't really a terrain tutorial. I'm just going over the basics. Like Kate Emerald has a video about terrain, and that's how I learned about it. So I would suggest watching that video if you want a more in-depth, but I'm just doing very light terrain manipulation. But yeah, this is how you raise the terrain. I would adjust the speed to like the lowest setting, just because like it's like in the middle or it's very high, and that's like how fast the terrain is going to go up or down. So definitely turn it to the lowest setting so you have a lot more control, and it's way easier to use and everything like that. And then that's how you like smooth the terrain over so that your Sims can, walk over it, because terrain can affect like the functionality, like if your Sims are able to get to the house or, get past it. So definitely be careful about that. Like I use like the flatten to height one. That one's really good because that helps make everything like even, especially like when you're doing different heights of terrain and things like that. And then you can use like the flatten lot one if you want to get rid of all the terrain on a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna like place a tree here, so I'm gonna use the raised terrain, and then I'm gonna like smooth it out so it's not like bumpy or anything like that. And just to let you know, if it's green, your Sims are going to be able to walk over it. If it starts turning brown, then your Sims aren't going to be able to walk over it. But I am like painting the terrain to make it look natural, because obviously trees grow from the dirt. Like it's not gonna just be pure grass or whatever, like it's gonna be a little bit of dirt. So you could choose whatever terrain paint you want and then add a little tree, and I feel like that looks realistic, with a little bit of the ground raised and everything like that. So and then I'm just kind of raising the terrain a little bit near the cobblestone or stone path, because in the picture it is a little bit raised. But yeah, terrain is going to help your build look more realistic. And you see that really pointy terrain, but we're going to use the smooth tool to like smooth it out. And you don't have to like copy this build from build. This is just honestly a video to like kind of go over all the tools and build mode and like the hotkeys again. Like I said before, and you won't be able to use terrain in like a room or whatever. You can only use it like on the outside of rooms. Like that's the only part it's going to affect. But yeah, I'm just like lowering the terrain because that's definitely too high. And then I'm gonna like take the smooth tool and like smooth it out so it doesn't look too crazy. But yeah, you can basically see when I'm using the smooth tool, I'm getting rid of like the brown spots because I mean, not that I really care if my Sims are able to walk over that part, but like I said, it's gonna help like if you want to do terrain, throughout the lot and you don't want to affect if your Sims can walk through it or not. But yeah, like definitely change your viewpoints a lot so you can kind of see, how even everything is and it looks natural and not crazy. Because it's like hard to see from like a bird's eye view how the terrain looks sometimes. And then I'm just gonna take some grass and I'm going to rotate it and size it up and down. You use like the bracket keys to like size things up and down. Like the left one is to size it down and the right one is to size it up. And then also use the alt key to freely rotate items. Like you have to hold the key down, the alt key down to freely like rotate it. And then also it helps you freely like place items as well because when you place items in the Sims 4, it's automatically like going to clip the item inside of a square. And if you kind of want it to like overlap a square, you have to hold down the Alt key. But yeah, you can see I'm like freely rotating it because I'm holding down the Alt key. I know like none of this may be new information, but people start playing The Sims every day and learning things. So, like I said, I'm really just going over the basics and everything like that. And this is mainly going to be focused on exterior. If you really do enjoy this video and you want like a decorating video of like the inside, then please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. I'm gonna like add, some grass and things like that. Try to mimic the picture as best as possible. Again, you don't have to do this, but I'm just, showing that like adding like exterior plants and terrain paint, like manipulation and paint really helps make the build look realistic and just ties it all together. It doesn't make it look so AI or whatever. I don't know if that's what I'm trying to say or you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I'm going to paint up underneath some of the grass and plants because, like I said, they grow from the dirt. Like it's not going to be green up underneath there. So I'm just kind of going up underneath there. And I'm also like sizing down the bushes. I don't know why, but it stopped. Like usually you don't have to press anything else but the bracket key to size down anything, but for some reason it stopped working. But I pressed shift and bracket key simultaneously and then that ended up working. Like I said, The Sims 4 is a glitchy game, especially in build mode. Well, every aspect, cast, build, gameplay. But yeah, I'm adding some stairs here. And you can like, change the size of the stairs, like you see where with the arrows. That's how you can change the size of a lot of things. It's those arrows. And then I use the eyedropper tool. You can use that to copy things. You can or press the E on the keyboard to like copy things so you don't have to go back and search for them in build mode. But I'm also, because I couldn't really find a column or anything like that, I took this column from Get Together and this base game plant, and I combined those two by like raising it using the 9 key and using Alt to like freely place it, but 9 is to raise and 0 is to lower. And then I'm also going into the foundation and painting that as well. You could choose any foundation that you like. And I'm also painting the walls, and you'll press like shift to paint the entire wall so you don't have to like drag the wallpaper across the wall, you know. And then I'm putting the windows on there. I know I forgot. I'll have to put it on the screen or in the description box of how to like just automatically decorate the walls with windows. There's a tool that you could use to do that. I'll have to look that up, but I know that you can't do that. But I typically don't use it because I have an idea where I want to place like windows and things like that. And then I'm using the room tool to create the second level. And of course, using that eyedropper tool again. You rarely use the E key, I just use the eyedropper tool to copy it. But I'm going to take the half gabled roofs. Here we are getting to roofing. It's very hard. Like, the only person I know who's like a professional roofer is like Danielle Builds. Like, she's crazy at roofing. Like, roofing takes forever to do, especially if you don't do like the full gabled roof, like easy way out, you know. But yeah, I'm taking a full gable roof as well. And like I said, sizing up the roof using those arrow keys. But obviously, the roof from the picture has like a curved roof and it has different heights. But yeah, I'm taking that arrow and bringing it down. It's going to be hard to kind of describe this. And then I'm taking that eave, that if you can see where I'm dragging from that arrow to like pull the roof down to line it up, and you can hold Alt to freely place it. But yeah, those E's right there, that arrow right there, and push Shift while pulling those E's so it doesn't pull it on both sides. Because sometimes you only need to extend or decrease one side of the Eve. So yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna extend those eaves out to get, the picture right. And you usually can copy like a roof, and you won't have to like do the same thing on the same side, but because the other side looks different and you can't have the roof extending over the grid where you see that white outline of a square, you can't have it overextending. So I have to completely redo that half gabled on the other side. And I forget to like paint that as well, but I noticed it while editing, so I'll have to do that. But just making sure it's even on both sides, how it's pulled out. And you can also like paint the same wall tool. But yeah, basically those spheres, you can use that to change the curve of the roof, which is what I'm doing. And I'm using the eaves to extend it a little bit more. But I'm taking another half gabled roof and rotating that facing towards the other square, and I'm bringing it down and flattening it. Yeah, half gabled roofs are probably the easiest to work with just because they're smaller and you can build like a full gabled roof with it, or you can just build different types of roofs with half gabled roofs. So you'll definitely see a lot of builders use that more versus like the hexagon or octagon and things like that. Like probably those first three roofs you'll probably see most builders use. Unless they're doing like a specific style, like a Victorian or Gothic style, you'll see them use the other types of roofs. But I'm taking a gabled roof and changing the size of that. And I'm making sure that it doesn't show through the second floor, because the eaves, whenever you change the size of the eaves, it can show through the second floor. And obviously, you don't want that. You want to see everything on the second floor. You don't want anything hiding it. But so you'll need to adjust the eaves so it doesn't clip through the second floor. And I'm just connecting those rooms on the second floor as well. But yeah, I'm just really kind of showing you all the keys to use on the roof just because like you just really have to adjust the roof so much in order to line everything up. But yeah, I'm using the spheres again to try to manipulate the curve of the roof. And then I'm adding another gabled roof on top. And I'm using the spheres to change the curve of the roof. Like, again, obviously, you don't have to do this, but just to, like, I don't know. A lot of people, like I said, they just use the gabled roofs. Like, they're the easiest to work with when you start, doing the curves and everything like that. But just in case you just get tired or sick of doing like that same old, like, triangle shaped gabled roof or whatever, because it can make like a lot of people talk about same face syndrome, but they don't talk about like same house syndrome, which a lot of builders I feel like suffer from. But yeah, I moved that half gabled roof on top, and I'm just like, adjusting it to try to get it matched up. Like, this was probably hard. Like, the smaller you go, the harder it is to like adjust it. But like I said, just use the spheres to like match it up. And then if you want even more control of how like you can curve the roof, press Shift and C simultaneously on the keyboard so that you can get more spheres to adjust the curve of the roof. But yeah, I'm like bringing the eaves in just to like align it better. And I feel like as far as like curved roofs, that's just like as good as it's gonna get. Um, like it's a lot of adjusting. Like roofing is hard, very hard. I mean, most houses you see, they don't really have like curved roofs or really detailed roofs or anything like that. Like they just throw these houses up nowadays. Like you don't really see the art of architecture anymore when it comes to houses. Like craftsmanship, that's the word I wanted to use. Like the really craftsmanship. I mean, there's a style of house called like a craftsman's house, but nothing's crafty about that. I feel like they all kind of look the same. But yeah, I'll have to pull those eaves in because it's showing on the second floor and I don't want that. But I'm trying to like connect all these roofs and make them kind of like flow into each other. So, I mean, it's kind of hard to explain it other than just like keep using the arrow keys, spheres, and the Eve arrows and things like that to try to get everything matched up. It's not gonna look perfect, but it's gonna look better, you know? Yeah, I had to like size down that because that's definitely showing through the second floor. And of course, like save your game. But yeah, I forget to paint that left side of the gable roof or the half gable roof on the left side, but I'll go back and do that. And also change the roof trims and things like that. Make sure you paint and change the roof trims. That also helps it look a lot better instead of, going with the default ones. I used to like never do that when I first started building, and now that I do, it makes a lot more of a difference. And then you can use like some wall objects. I added that one from Magical Realm that's above the door, and then this one is from Love Struck, and I'm using the 9 key and the bracket key to size it up, and the Alt key as well to like help freely like place it. And then don't forget to add lighting to your exterior because obviously like nighttime, you want to be able to see even though, you could see and your Sims, it's not going to affect whether your Sims will be able to find their way into the house. But, like I said, if you just want to make the build look as best as possible, definitely don't forget to add lights and also columns because it helps your build to look a lot less like boxy. So, and that was another thing I never used to do was add columns onto the sides of my builds. But yeah, I usually typically just add them on every corner, and then you can also like extend them up to the second floor. And then I add like some pipes and things like that. Too bad they don't have like gutters that you can put on the roofs or whatever. But yeah, just adding little details. And then for the back, whenever you add a fence and you attach it to the house, it's gonna do it on the same foundation level. But I do end up deleting like the inside of it because you're not gonna be able to add a pool. You can't add a pool on a foundation. There's a lot of restrictions in Sims 4. People say Sims 4 is easier to build in, but there's definitely a lot of restrictions. Like you see how I finally connected, and then you can lower it if you want to by using those arrows labeled lower and right raise platform. But I do end up like clicking, like just click on the floor area, and you can just take the sledgehammer and do that, and you can delete it. But I'm like building a little fire pit area. I'm not going to really show you how I decorate this backyard because like I said, this isn't a decorating video. This is more of like a structure, like exterior build and things like that, more of like a layout and everything like that video. But yeah, I'm just going to make like this fire pit area using the platform tool and everything like that. You will kind of have to like lower it and rebuild the fence or whatever. Just that's just how the things go in Sims 4. It's gonna automatically do things for you, and you're gonna have to just keep readjusting, like with the arrows and everything like that. So, but like I said, um, like building tips is like especially it's good to know for if you only really have base game because you can do all these things in base game, maybe not the same swatches, but you could do the same techniques. And I'm using also like the triangle room and customizing that with the arrows to try to get the shape that I want for the little fire pit area. And then I'm like lowering the platform and painting. You'll have to use like the foundation. You won't be able to use the platform trim or anything like that because the back of it is like the foundation. Foundation and platform are like two different things, and then also use stairs so that your Sims will be able to get to it. And see how you're not able to add like a pool. Like you'll have to like delete that whole platform area, so that just do that before you place down anything. I had to learn the hard way. But yeah, you won't be able to build a pool. So I delete that whole area and then like readjust everything, and I just combine like two round pool shapes together to get that pool shape. And I just decorated and did some terrain and everything like that. But yeah, that pretty. Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna show you this like basement tool thing, kind of what I was talking about. How you can draw a basement from the bottom floor underneath, and then you can place things to like and raise them up to the first floor. But yeah, that completes this kind of like build house tutorial. I hope this was helpful. I know this wasn't the most professional, perfect video, but I hope this kind of helped you out. Like, I'm not the most knowledgeable like builder in The Sims 4 or anything, but I do know a couple of things where I don't have to rely on builders because I don't have all the packs and kits and things like that, and it's just saves me time on having to replace things, where I could just kind of customize it myself and the way that I like it and do things my style. So I highly suggest just learning how to build. But like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.